God bless everybody today. It's January 23rd, 2023. This, I believe, is actually my second update today, but there's a lot going on, so let's go over this real quick. This should be a fairly quick video. U.S. and Israel have launched historically the largest joint exercise in Israel. This is going to last until the end of the week, I believe Friday, or the 27th, I believe. And it includes 6,000 U.S. troops and 1,000 Israelis and a huge amount of air, ground, and other support systems. And so they're sending a clear message to Iran at this moment that this is not acceptable behavior, as Hamas and Hezbollah are in the process of building up their borders. And as you can see from this article, it's dubbed Juniper Oak 2023, whatever that means exactly, and it will have 140 aircraft and 12 naval vessels, artillery systems on both nations are drilling in Israel and in the Mediterranean Sea. So they're definitely getting ready for something, and on the other side, they're also preparing. And in Israel, I believe over 110,000 people came out last night and did protests against this right-wing government that Netanyahu's put together, and they're just not giving up this call for basically him to step down at this point, but I do believe that's going to have any gravity, and that's just not going to happen. He's going to be in there, and they really need him in there at this moment, I believe. So as Netanyahu's been going out to the field, they've been strengthening their northern border. Hezbollah also is erecting watchtower and defensive walls around these areas to protect from a potential attack from the Israeli defense forces. And so we're starting to see a lot of things happening right along the border of Israel, Lebanon, and Palestine. And like I said, you got to watch the Golan Heights, you got to watch West Bank, you got to watch Palestine, Lebanon, and all these different areas, because if one breaks down, they're all going to start to break down, and you could potentially see attacks from multiple different areas. And the Lebanese Army is blocking some of the patrols, movement between the borders and stuff between Israel and Lebanon. And so, like I say, between that and the walls and different towers they're erecting, this is starting to break down fairly quickly. Everybody's going into defense mode, and at that point you have to be concerned that something is going to happen and that somebody's going to put themselves in a precarious position that would then ratchet this up and escalate it to a point of potential launching of thousands of missiles or a massive strike from Israel itself. And like I say, this isn't just a military operation going on. This is a political operation. As you can see, Hamas and Hezbollah and all these groups have learned to become very political, and they're driven so through their ideology. And so Hamas is lobbying groups through the UK to accuse Israel lawmakers of racism, and how Netanyahu is using this right-leaning government to crack down on the Palestinians and groups around them. And so this is boiling over not only into Israel but other areas of the world. France, Sweden, all these different areas are being affected at this time. So, and with all the joint exercises, military exercises, and things going on, our Representative Blinken is going to Israel to talk about concerns over this new government and how it's affecting this area and how it's going to affect our relationship with Israel as we move forward. And so Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, I believe, will be there in the next few days, or sometime next week, I believe. And Israel is in the process of evicting thousands of groups of people in these occupied areas, and this is not stopping. This is just causing more of a rift out here between these two groups, or multiple groups. And this is not going away. Netanyahu wants to clear these areas out. He wants to reoccupy them, and he's just going to push these people out, and this is a lot of the cause of the problem. And as far as I can tell, this is just ratcheting up more and more, and so this is just going to cause more and more issues as we move forward. But I think this is going to break fairly soon. Something's going to somebody's going to push the wrong button. Now, I don't know if they're actually going to do something while we're having this massive organized military maneuver over there, but that will end by Friday, I believe, and so we'll have to watch and see what happens after that. So the EU is imposing new sanctions on Iran, which is going to put more pressure on them. They're already financially destitute, and so this will cause more problems, especially for the population. They have not classified the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist group yet. They're still working on that one, but that may change if something were to happen and they would intensify the war. I would think that the EU would probably place them on this list. And as you can see in this article, the U.S. has hit Iran with new sanctions, and this is just going to keep ratcheting up. The Iranian deal, nuclear deal, is basically falling apart, and so they know that there's really one other option left here, and that is, how do you deal with a nuclear Iran? They probably have the capacity, whether it's the capacity to strap it to a missile and get it to Israel, is what they're heading off at this point. So I don't think this is going to hold up much longer. They've already behind the ball, so they're going to have to do something fairly quickly. And again, in this article, it shows that the EU is slapping new sanctions on Iran, but they're also talking about more sanctions against Russia. And I noticed that Russia and Syria are just put a new air base up along the Turkish border. So I don't know how that's going to go over, even though Turkey and Russia are still doing some joint military exercises on the ground in Syria. Putin is losing more and more of his grip on this area, and Assad is potentially going to get pushed out. So we'll just have to see how that takes place. And Russia's playing a two-edged sword here anyway, because they're trying to cooperate with Iran through this nuclear technology they're giving Iran for drones and other weapons of mass destruction and war, things for war. And in the same breath, Iran and Russia are still talking about strategic cooperation. So I don't know how you play this game on both sides before somebody like Turkey steps in the way and says, look, I've had enough of this. But I think Erdogan's not going to let that last much longer. And that's probably why he's been up there a number of times talking about Syria and Iran with Russia, to fill him out and find out how Putin's going to react to some of this, and see where that red line's going to end up being for Turkey itself. But that's my update for today. Just sort of keep an eye on this military exercise. I don't think probably anything will happen while this is happening, but once that breaks down, even though we have 6,000 guys over there, it indicates that we don't come to Israel's rescue at the end. And so I'm not sure Joe Biden's administration is actually going to do a whole lot when it comes down to helping Israel if it gets down to an actual confrontation. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I just wanted to keep you update. Keep an eye on this. This is moving quickly, and I will probably be posting daily updates for a while until we see what happens here or this settles down. So God bless everybody. Find the open door. Find Jesus. Have a great night.